Hey folks, Harley Day Rider back at you once again, your good old friend HDR. Out here on the lovely 2018 Road Glide. Wait, no, I'm not outside on the Road Glide Ultra because it's 30 degrees out and I'm not riding today. A lot of you have been asking me, we've been talking a lot about HDR. How do you edit your videos? What's your workflow? How do you make the videos to put them up on YouTube? And there's hundreds of ways we can talk about doing that. I'm going to display today to you my workflow and what I do when I get back into the studio, the HDR studio. And don't knock me right now, folks, because I'm kind of in the remodeling phase. I got a new desk. I've been cleaning up here like crazy. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff that we accumulate. Not just for the motorcycle. A lot of that stuff's in the basement even. But just video equipment, hard drives. There's just I have stuff everywhere. Audio gear for the studio up here for when we're doing these types of videos, and there's just tons of stuff. But we're going to talk to you a little bit today about motovlogging. If you're interested in the motovlogging hobby, I call it, and becoming a part of our motovlogging community, which it has been growing, and thanks to everybody out there for not only watching these shows, but thanks to all my friends out there that are motovloggers that we talk back and forth on Facebook. We communicate through text messaging. A lot of us are pretty closer, I guess. So we have phone numbers now, so we just text each other. So it's really been really a fun, enjoyable ride. Without the pun, right, about riding, but just a really enjoyable hobby, and it's just something that's grown over the years. And so I want to show you my workflow and what I do here. I am using a Mac, but this program that I'm using today will also run on Windows and Linux, if you know what that is. If you don't, who cares? It's just another operating system. What we are using is going to be called Davinci Resolve. Davinci Resolve, and I'll have a link for it in the video notes on the bottom here, so you can just go and download it. It's free. That's why I use it. It's absolutely free. It works perfectly. I don't have any trouble with it whatsoever. I used to use Final Cut. My subscription ran out, and I'm not going to pay $400 or $500 for that subscription. Let's go back a little bit, just a couple steps here. I'm going to tell you about the cameras I use. The cameras I use, a lot of you know that I'm a big drift fan. This is the drift. Which one is this? The HD Ghost. I've had this on my helmet in the rainstorms. I've had it in whatever kind of weather. I've had it in 110-degree heat on the bike, and it's a workhorse. It uses a plug-in microphone, so it just plugs in the back there, and I run it through my my Senna 20S across the boom, and I just stick it in the little windsock, the microphone there. But it's been a great little camera. I can't complain much about it. It shoots 720p at 60 frames a second. And you might say, Jack, HDR, that's 720p? For YouTube, that's sufficient. It's very, very good. Any of you guys out there been playing with 4K video, you'll learn one thing very quickly. It's a very large file size, and it's very nasty to play with that file size, unless you have some kind of reasoning for that. The other camera I use is the Hero 3 Plus Silver, right? I mean, yeah, the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Silver. And I know a lot of you guys are out there, and when you get into motovlogging, don't think you have to go out and buy, I think the 8's out right now, or maybe the 9, or I can't keep track. A lot of people believe if I buy the newest GoPro out, I'll have the most subscribers, I'll have the most viewers on my videos. That has nothing technically to do with it. Yes, you want good, clean video, and you also want really good, crystal clear audio. We'll talk about that as we're editing this video down. But you don't have to have, a $700 camera hanging on your helmet. You just don't. Does the video look great? Absolutely, guys. People that have those, the 7s and 8s, I think the video is smooth and it's crystal clear, and it's really, really great. A lot of times I walk away from my computer, believe it or not, and I listen to what you're saying on your videos more than, just the view of the bike riding down the road. And you probably do the same thing with my videos. You're listening to the topic. So don't get involved with that thinking, I can't be a motovlogger because HDR, I don't have $800 or $1,000 for a camera setup. Do a lot cheaper than that. You can probably get these now on eBay. The Ghost. I think when I bought this brand new, it might have been $150. So, and I've used it for what, 4 years already. So it's been a workhorse. So anyhow, what we're talking about today is editing. Now you can take, this is my walk around camera. The video we're editing today here is the motorcycle show videos from the Cleveland Progressive Motorcycle Show that we went to last Saturday. And we're going to be editing that down. And it was shot on my GoPro because I use this on a selfie stick. So I walk around, right, and I have it out. You guys have seen me around lakes and stuff talking to you on it and getting different views and, you know, being able to raise it real high in the air. So it's a great little camera for that. I also use it on my handlebars. You've seen the dual shots. I've done that a lot. What I have found, though, is if you use the USB cable, it came with this camera, right, and you plug it in the side, you know, and to pull your, and you could do that to pull your video off. For some reason, I always think it takes a little longer to get that video off of there. So what I do is I pop the micro SD card out of the camera. And I carry this little guy around with me everywhere I go. All of our travels I carry. And people say, HDR, do you carry a laptop around? Yes. And the reason I do that is, and again, nothing to knock anybody's workflow out there. This is my workflow. When we're on those trips, Mrs. HDR knows the first thing we do when we get to the hotel room is I get the cameras on and I pull my video for the day. I get the video at least into the editor and I try to edit down the day, and then I'll start to render that video. And I'll start rendering that video down, and then we'll go to dinner or something as it's rendering. By the time we come back, hotel internet is horrible. But I'll start uploading that to YouTube, so you have that day's video during that day. Now, that's my workflow. I know a lot of guys out there will go on a 14-day motorcycle trip and just keep these cards piled up, you know, on their bike. And when they get home, you know, they're putting those videos out for the next 4 months or so. The reason I don't do that is because I want to be able to let people know kind of where we're at, where we're heading, and be able to meet some of you folks when we're on the road. So that's why we do it kind of the same day. That's why I like to do that, just so you can watch our vacation. So anyway, I take this and I stick this in this little USB card reader. You put it in the right way, HDR. And it's just a USB stick, right? So I plug it in my USB drive. And what I'm going to do here is, again, this is on a Mac. We're going to skip that. We're not going to put those on there. We're going to bring up my Explorer window. Okay, it's a Mac. It's called the Finder, but this works the same on Windows. My workflow is I have a folder called Harley Day Rider. And under that folder, I have a folder called Raw Video. Raw Video is just what it means. Everything unedited. Everything that I'm going to pull off that memory card for the day goes in to a date for that video. So we are going to make, let me see here. I think we can do it. Let me see what that one says. Yeah. All right. So we're going to make a new folder in here. And we're going to call it Motorcycle Show. The date. And enter. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is go to my Untitled, and you could probably name your GoPro disc, but mine's just called Untitled for the disc that we just stuck in the USB drive. And you have some folders. There's a miscellaneous folder. There's some text, which I have no idea what that's for. Here's a miscellaneous folder here, which is nothing. And look here, you see where it says 10 GoPro. Now, the only reason it says GoPro is I shot this. Well, I shot it with the GoPro. So the GoPro folder is the one that's going to house your videos. And here are the videos. So this one I can see, this is something I shot while I was on the bike. So this has nothing to do with the actual motorcycle show. And if you can look, that was shot on October 5th, 2019. So I was out apparently riding that day and I shot some video. Again, it's very important when you buy your cameras, set the clock on the camera. I forgot to do that once, and you're looking, it's like, why is this video on here from 1995? It didn't make any sense. I didn't set the clock. So I'm going to click the first video. I can see that's the 25th. That is the motorcycle show. I'm going to click the last video holding down my shift key and select all those. I'll right click, and I would click copy. Some guys, import their videos and edit right off their memory card. I don't, because I want the speed of my hard drive to be able to edit these videos down. So then I'll go find that folder I created, raw. Here's the motorcycle show. We're going to right click here and just paste these. And you'll be able to tell if you've ever transferred video off of the cable. This is much faster. It's very quick using that memory card reader, especially this is not a USB 3 jack, which is super fast. I'm still using a USB 2 jack on here, and it imports pretty well. I mean, I can't complain much about it. It's been working very well. And like I said, I do this on the road. It's 2.16 gigs worth of video for these clips. So I mentioned something earlier about 4K video. 4K video is extremely gorgeous. 4K video will give you the greatest detail of everything. You will be able to see, matter of fact, newscasters actually were scared when 4K came out because you could see pimples and zits under their makeup. It's so detailed. Both 4K, when you're talking about dots per inch and you're shooting that big DPI video, the file size is huge and you have to work with that. So not only are you filling your memory cards up that much faster, this camera I told you shoots at 720p at 60 frames a second. The frame rate is the greatest detail. The frame rate is what makes your video look smooth when you're out there. When you're riding along and the trees are not like jiggering and jaggering, right? And I know a lot of you out there believe that's a lot to do with stabilization. This camera doesn't have any stabilization in it. But at 60 frames a second, everything just looks smooth when you're riding. And I think that's really great to be able to tell how that transition is out there. All right, we have our clips in. So what I'm saying is, HDR, you're saying don't ever shoot at 4K? That's a personal thing. It's up to you guys. If you want to shoot at 4K, shoot it at 4K. I understand 8K is coming out soon. Shoot it at 8K. That's up to you. That's not my workflow. I like my videos. I think they look fine. You be the judge of them. I mean, I've been doing them the same way for quite a while, and they seem to be okay. All right, let's move on. So we can close this now. We're going to open up our Davinci Resolve. Again, a free program. They do have a paid version, and I do not recommend. It's from Blackmagic Design. I do not recommend you spend the $500 or $600 for the program. It's not going to make a better video. It's not going to make you a better motovlogger. It's not going to get you more subscribers because you paid big money for something. It's just going to be money out of your wallet that you don't need to spend. So, all right, you see a couple projects I've had in there from the past. I don't normally save them. So we're going to go Untitled Project. We're going to New Project. And we're going to call this the Motorcycle Show 2020. This name is just a name for you to see. This is not going to be the YouTube name. We'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, let's click on Create. Now, the first thing you have to do with Davinci Resolve, you're going to open up and go, where's my video clips? We have to import our clips. First thing we got to do. Click on Media. And this is why it's important now. We know, well, I'm under Harley Day Rider. And we are under Raw because that's where we just put all of our video clips. Let's see where they're at here. Should be at the bottom, I believe. Yep, right there. Motorcycle Show, and I put the date on it. So here's the clips from that show. What you do next with Davinci Resolve is you click on the first one. You can watch these here. We are here at the... So you can watch those here. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on the first one, hold the shift key down, click on the last one, and drag them down. This is going to say they have different frame rates than the current project settings. What do you want to do? We want to change this, okay? The reason that happens is if the GoPro is shooting at, let's say 45 frames a second for whatever reason. My projects, when I import into this, I have it set up to always make the project 60 frames a second. So it will change it and match that 60 frames a second. And there you go. Let's talk next about having an intro. And I know a lot of you guys have intros out there. A lot of people new to motovlogging might say, HDR, should I shoot an intro my videos? Should I have an intro? And there is a lot of different takes on intro video clips. The first thing I can tell you is if you do an intro video clip and it's 7 minutes long, forget it. People are going to click off your video and they're going to move on. Or what's going to happen really, they may not even click off. What's going to happen is they're going to scrub through that to when you start talking and they're going to watch your video from there. So you spent all this great time. You're very proud of your intro and it's very nice and it's very elaborate. You have drones flying above the bike. You have aerial shots. You have, you riding across the country. I mean, look at Adam Sandoval's intro. It's really not that long, but it tells a big story in like a short clip. That's a really nice intro. It tells kind of everything he's been up to this point of his motor vlogging hobby. But the intro should be short. Nothing should be long. It shouldn't be elaborate. It should be very, very short. So we're going to go up here. And I keep a folder in here called, believe it or not, I made it #1-intro. The reason I put a number on it is because it keeps it higher up in your files. Here's my intro. Some of you might have seen this before. All right. So I'm going to drag that down to my clips. Now that I have everything in my clips that I want to work with, we're going to click on Edit. All right. So we are on Edit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop our intro in. If you're using an intro, drop your intro in. I want to show you something with this intro. It's kind of... At the end of this intro, okay, it's 12 seconds long. 12 seconds. Here's one of the things with motovlogging that I've talked to a lot of my friends that are in the vlogging community. Talked to a lot of people, even with other videos. I think we do intros because we watch TV for so many years. There's always an intro, right? Like crime scene investigators. There was an intro. You get the idea. Magnum PI. There's an intro. So everybody wants to build these intros, but make it very, very short clip. Here's the other thing. When you're getting on the bike, and I get on the bike, I do it every time. Hey, folks, how you doing today? Harley Day Rider, your good old friend HDR out here on the 2018 Road Glide Ultra. All right. Well, if you clicked on the video and you look at the title of my YouTube channel, you'll probably know it's Harley Day Rider. I mean, do we even need to do that? Can we just, and I think somebody asked that question one time before, one of the motovloggers on their video, I can't remember who, and I'm sorry, said, why don't we ever just like have an opening video? Hey, how's everybody doing today? We're out here today and we're riding along and go right into a topic. I kind of believe, this is my feeling, my take on it is, when you start your motovlog and I say, hey guys, Harley Day Rider, your good old friend HDR out here in the 2018. To me, that's like if I walked up to you in the mall and said, hey guys, how you doing, man? HDR, nice to meet you, and I shake your hand, or you go out in a group of people and say, hey, how's everybody doing today? Like you start a meeting, or it's just kind of how we are, right? That's the greeting, I think. And I think we need to still do that. I think that's important. Anyway, watch your intro length and how long they are. Be very careful with those. Next, we're going to start with the number order here. And the next video is number 59. Before I do that, though, we're going to drop a video transition in. Now, a video transition will allow the video to transition into your video. So we're going to grab cross dissolve and we're going to bring it down, drop it on my intro. All right, we're going to show you what that looks like in just a second. So let's grab the first one here. The videos are numbered. Here's number 259. I just had this discussion with Bodine at the motorcycle show. We talked about the numbering. Sometimes, like this camera, this Ghost, will number the videos, and I don't even know if they're in sequence. So what I do beforehand, I go through and look at the clips, and he numbers his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's a good idea. That's a great idea. And then when you put it in the editor, you'll know which came first, the chicken or the egg. So, all right, let's go ahead and click on the beginning now. We're going to look at this opening and see what this looks like. Okay, so you see the transition? We're looking on the screen here on the right. there's the transition. Now look, I'm thinking right now of how to open. I'm thinking about it. All right, now we opened it up, Harley Day Rider. Hey, folks. So what you want to do is find out where you started talking, and you want to clip it, if it makes sense. I turn it red, I hit my delete key, I drag this back on top of here. Now let's see what I got. Let's see how it transitions now. Hey folks, Harley Day Rider here. All right, so now I don't have a lot of what I call white noise time. Kind of walking, and it's just like white noises. If you watch the old TV shows, they used to go to that screen at night with nothing. If you're kind of walking, I'm not talking, I'm not engaging anybody. So I cut that out because I was thinking of how to open it, probably is what was happening. The next thing that we're going to do is, I'm going to show you one here, is we're going to look for the next clip, which is number 60. And I'm just going to click on it and drag it down to my timeline and drop it. You can put video transitions through here. I don't recommend it. I meant just splice them together. All right. One of the best things is to show it right here. Now what you'll notice is, even if you look at these waveforms, this is something that I kind of keep an eye on. If you look down here in the green, that's the audio level of the audio. Look at the audio level of this clip I just pulled in. Because now we're in the show, we have a lot of stuff going on in the show, and there's a lot of ambient noise around us. So what you want to do there, see what they got going on with the motorcycle. All right. What you want to do is click on that clip. And what's nice, I like about Davinci Resolve is I can click on audio, and I can play this, listen to it while adjusting the audio. And I can watch the timeline and watch my my waveform at the bottom. All right, let's try that. One of the best things is to show it right here. All right, see how that cleaned up the audio right away. That's the big Ferris wheel that Mrs. HDR will not get on. All right. So what I do next is I go to my next clip, and as you can see, as these clips are being imported, they're being what's called rendered. So it's rendering live. As I'm dropping the clips, it's rendering the clip out. That way, when I go to render at the end, it is extremely fast. So 60, I want 61. Here's 61. I drop that clip in. Same deal. I click on it. Click here. Listen to it. Click on audio. All right, folks, now we are at the Indian booth, checking out the Indian motorcycles. Hope you get a chance to sit on the Challenger. And I drop the audio down. All right, so that's it. That's it. I mean, that's it in a nutshell, really. So you're building your clips up, watch your timelines, know what you're putting in. Sometimes, folks, you have a clip that you recorded. I'll come back on from a motorcycle ride, and I'll be looking at my clips and go, it didn't really justify to have that whatever. One, I think recently you might have seen, I don't know when that video came out, but I was passing, it's like, I clicked on real quick, like, boom, clicked the camera. Hey, I wanted to show you this little barn here. It's a pretty cool barn. It was literally a 5-second clip, and I put it in. So I just thought it was kind of cool to have it. But sometimes you get a clip, come home and go, that clip don't make sense. Delete it. Throw it away. Don't be afraid to throw your videos away. That happens. I told you guys the time I came home, and I told you this has a wired microphone in it, the Ghost. And the cable, I took my helmet off and noticed the plug. I always stick it inside the strap thing. I was like, why is the plug thing stuck inside the strap thing? Yep. I had like a couple motovlogs I did when I was out with absolutely no audio. So I threw them away. I didn't. Here's what else I don't do with my videos. And if you do this, please don't unsubscribe. Please don't go, oh, HDR, you're just a pain. Yeah, that's stupid. And look, I don't overlay music on a video. If I can't talk to you, I'm not going to overlay music. And I take that back to if the weather's on in the morning on your TV on the news, and the lady's pointing to the screen, and all you hear is dun 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 do 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 do, and you have no clue what the heck she's doing, or what she's even thinking about the weather. But they're just overlaying music, because people will either scrub off your video or they'll just they'll just not watch the video, and then what could happen, worst part of that, is they will just unsubscribe, thinking you just have nothing else to say or talk about. So be very careful with those. If you do, and I have, I guess, overlaid some, and you'll see some of the other motovloggers out there do it, is they're talking for 5 or 6 minutes, and then maybe there's, a little place where they're riding through traffic and they have a little bit of music or something in their background. That's cool. Absolutely works. But if you do a video and the whole entire thing's overlaid with music, not going to get it. It's just not... I don't know. If I don't have anything to say, I don't turn the camera on. That's my feelings. I just don't do it. I don't bother with that. So anyway, we're going to leave it go at that. So overlaying music in your intro, great place to have a little bit of music like mine was there. Fantastic. In the video, do some talking. Please talk. Talk. People often say, HDR, what do I talk about? Anything can come to your mind. I recently did a video that had hundreds of comments on it about playing the lottery, because I was thinking about that on the bike. I was like, man, maybe I'll talk about the lottery. So, and that just came to me, and just start talking. It don't have to be motorcycle related. It don't have to be, oh, you buy these loud pipes, save lives. And everybody knows that. And that's okay. You don't need to talk about that. When I first started out, I talked about when you're taking a motorcycle out and you're starting to ride, and you're making a left-hand turn, lean the bike to the left while gripping the right hand grip. Baloney. People don't want to hear that. They don't care. Unless you have some great tip that nobody knows about. Like, I could flip my bike over just by standing on the front highway pegs and flip my full dresser completely over 360 degrees. Show us that. That would be cool, and that would be a good video. Anyway, move on. So anyway, you get your video done. You're looking for your last clip. For the speed of this video, we're looking for the last clip. Here is number 65. Yep. So I drag my last clip in, and I go across. I do my little editing here. So I'm going to look. All right, folks. Well, it was another successful motorcycle. Pull the audio down a little bit. We got the finishing up on the video. All right. So that's it. Video's all done. Next thing we have to do is what's called deliver it. Okay. Deliver it. Some video editors call it exporting, whatever. However it's shown up. But now, we're going to type in here motorcycle. I'm going to show you a little trick here that I learned. See if I can see it. Motorcycle _ show _ 2020, maybe _ Cleveland. All right. When you do the underscores, when you go to post this to YouTube, the underscores are replaced with spaces. That way you don't have to space it out. Did you ever put your video in? It's like, I got to space it now. So if you have underscores, you don't have to do it. Highlight that, right click on it, click copy. Click browse. This is where we're going to export the video to, or where we're going to finish the video up at. Okay, I'm going to click on Harley Day Rider, new folder. I'm going to paste that in there because the folder name is going to be the same as the video name. Makes it easier for me to find it when I go to upload it. Click OK. The next thing you do on this particular video is you hit render on this program. Add to render queue. The render queue is over on the right. You can see where it says job 1. And you click on start rendering. And you can see how very, very fast this program is. Final Cut would take an hour or something to render a video. It was just, and I think it's part of Davinci Resolve's rendering as you're importing the clips. It's pre-rendering everything, so I think that helps a lot. We're going to let this go down. It's like baking a cake. I put it in the oven, and I will come back as soon as the oven is done cooking. Okay, so at that point, the video is done rendering. It took 2 minutes and 42 seconds to render that video down. So look at your program and how long it takes to render now, and see how long Davinci Resolve could take to render. But or even that, or even in your program, see if you have a rendering. I think it's called rendering upon addition or something to that point, where as you're dropping the clips, it's pre-rendering it, because man, it makes that final stage really fast. The last thing I do on my workflow is I go in, I look at the folder, motorcycle show. Let's see here. Okay, let's find it. Right there it is, motorcycle show. That's why I named the folder. Here's the video. Is I open it up and I have a peek at it to see what it's going to look like before we post it to YouTube. Look for the transition. Nice transition right into the video. It looks good. I'm fast forwarding. All right. And that's it. So I'm going to shut that off. Shut that off. And as I said, I don't even save the project. So watch, when I close Davinci Resolve, look, do you want to save the project? Nope. Don't save it. I trash it. I'm done with it. It's gone. Finished. Out of here. All right, folks. So I made this video to try to help anybody out there with editing, with my workflow, how I do things. I did not make this video to make anybody upset or mad or do something different about do your videos, however you do your videos. And I think that's key. The one thing I can tell you is there's a sweet spot. Myself and Mr. Bodine have been watching for a while, the analytics. The sweet spot is about 7 minutes for a video before people get bored and close it, click off. Unless it's really good content. And I mean, I've watched a lot of your videos for 20 minutes. I can do that. I enjoy motorcycle videos. I love watching them as much as I love making them. And you'll find vloggers out there at times. We make a 20-minute video. If I'm doing a group ride, it's hard to cut that down to 9 minutes and give you the whole story. Because we're telling the story of our rides. And that's what we want to hear you talk about. Talk about the ride. Talk about your bike. Talk about your life. These are all different things. You don't have to go out and have a motorcycle topic just to be a moto vlogger. You just don't have to do that. Matter of fact, I watched something called 310 Pilot, and I'll throw that out there on my channel. They are very successful YouTubers. They're him and his wife are air traffic controllers. Again, it's 310 Pilot. And when they go up, he talks a little bit about the plane, but their whole entire flight, like their 20 or 30-minute flight video that he makes flying from here to wherever they fly to, the Bahamas, let's say, they don't constantly talk, well, that's the left wing over there, and that's the right wing over, or that's the left and that's the right wing over there, and I have a tail in the back, and I have a rudder, and they don't do that. They just talk about life, and people love it. That's what you come back for. That's what I come to your videos for. I come to your videos to watch. You tell me who you are, what you do, how you do it, where you're at, what your dreams are, what your hopes are. Just the other day, I was telling somebody I did a video, and maybe I mentioned this one already, but the topic was about the lottery. It just came to my head. I just started talking about the lottery, and the comments have been lighting up. We've had a lot of fun with that so-called topic, or maybe not even maybe we'll call it a subject. How about that? All right, folks, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped some of you out there. By all means, Bodine knows when he first started out, I am always available to help anybody out there that wants to get into motovlogging or learn more about editing videos. I will teach you what I know. I'm not an expert. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm sure there's more I can learn too, for sure. So take care, everybody. Remember, ride your own ride. Be safe. Just watching this, you did not get to see the whole motorcycle show, so you will see that very, very soon. So please watch that video too, the final produced motorcycle show video. And we'll talk to you next time with some other kind of videos coming up here. And I also got to teach you a little bit of tricks on how to upload to YouTube. And we will talk about that coming up in another topic or another subject. Sorry. Ride your own ride. Be safe. Harley Day Riders down and out. in the cold area of Pennsylvania. Bye for now, everybody.